Pirates, Opium and Good Neighbours, how Solovyov justifies the current war by rewriting the history of Britain and Europe. About Ukraine, without Ukraine, how Solovyov's show rewrites war and peace against the backdrop of Witkoff and Kushner's shuttle diplomacy in Moscow. Vladimir Solovyov's program performs a familiar task, transforming a complex and ambiguous situation into a black and white picture, where Russia is the only rational and moral actor, and Ukraine is simultaneously the West's puppet, the main villain, and a helpless victim. This segment is interesting because it directly links to Putin's interview with an Indian television channel. The TV presenter not only recounts the president's talking points, but builds an entire ideological corpus around them. 1. The plan is peaceful, but the picture is warlike. The starting point is the same, 27 to 28-point Trump plan, divided into 4 packages. Solovyov emphasizes that the document is being discussed in Moscow. Kyiv, he says, is completely in the dark and is only eager for a meeting with the Americans to find out what has already been decided. This is how the key narrative is constructed. The subjects are Russia and the United States, in Solovyov's version, Putin and Trump personally. Europe is an obstructive, hysterical chorus in the background. Ukraine is the object that, at most, will be presented with a fait accompli. At the same time, the presenter immediately returns the viewer from the topic of negotiations to the topic of victory. Parliamentary sources from Kyiv are quoted as if the Ukrainian armed forces are experiencing a disaster. The number of conscientious objectors allegedly exceeds the pre-war strength of the army. And the regime, despite this, relies on Europe and still will not prevent Russia from achieving its goals. Peace in this logic is not an alternative to war, but a way to consolidate what has already been achieved and legitimize further expansion. And right now in Ukraine, and in Ukraine, by the way, in Europe, there's a lot of this hysteria, these really catchy articles. I think Vladimir Vladimirovich sees them more than anyone else. The articles they're talking about, but the talks in Moscow didn't end in anything. And what did you want the talks in Moscow to end in? No, how do they know how the talks ended? It's so extreme. That's the beauty of it. You can't imagine what a mess they've made, what they've done in the Kremlin, and Putin's happy with the talks, and Trump's happy,